As with any great 80s slasher, they all start cracking wise eventually. Hey guys, I'm Rebecca and welcome to Watch Mojo. And today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 funniest Chucky moments.
What are you doing? Ah! What would Martha Stewart say?
That means we're looking at the most hilarious off-jokes, kill lines, and snarky remarks made by the toddler with a tood in the Child's Play franchise. Consider this your spoiler alert. Alright, let's get to the list.
My mother always told me, once is a blessing, twice is a curse.
Well, that would explain your sister.
Number 10, Chucky's Great Debate. Cult of Chucky.
He made the funniest face when I drilled him. Did you see the steam when I sliced open his guts? I never felt so alive! Yeah, well, you've been alive for like 2 minutes.
After taking a detour into self-parody with Bride and Seed of Chucky, creator Don Mancini brought the series back to its horror roots with the next 2 entries, much to fans' delight.
Welcome to the cult, pal. Thanks, you guys are the best.
But it was not without humor. Cult finds Brad's daughter Nika Pierce in a mental institution, hunted and stalked by the killer doll. All the while, longtime nemesis Andy Barkley is on his trail. After transferring his soul into multiple bodies, Chucky begins to argue over which one gets to kill Andy.
Now I'm gonna go kill Andy. No, I wanna kill Andy. I earned it. I've been through a lot today.
Finally, the short-haired one wins the fight. And given the embarrassing new buzz, rightfully so.
Hello? Look at my hair.
Number 9, Presto, You're Dead. Child's Play 3.
That haircut ain't regulation, soldier. When's the last time you had a trim, huh?
One thing is certain, Chucky likes his haircut. This has been evident since he entered military academy. When the camp barber attempts to give him a buzz cut, he doesn't quite take it like Harold Ramis and Bill Murray in Stripes.
Got something in a low-rise bikini, mesh if possible?
Rather, he goes full metal jacket. He does the barber in and utters this bit of non sequitur brilliance. To be perfectly honest, we aren't entirely sure why this is funny.
Presto, you're dead.
Perhaps it's Brad Dourif's exuberant line read, perhaps it's just a break in an otherwise tense scene. Whatever it is, it still gives audiences a bit of a giggle.
Boo!
Number 8, this is for Tupac, Child's Play. The Child's Play remake was a surprisingly fresh take on the plot, removing the soul of a dead murderer plotline and making it about AI gone awry.
Buddy can connect to and control all of your Caslin products and smart home devices.
It's a sly update, and Mark Hamill's voice performance is on par with series regular Brad Dourif.
Good night, Andy.
In the film, some young kids start to play with the overly protective doll, teaching it to swear and basic street lingo.
I think Chucky did something.
Later, as he's about to make his first big kill, he incorporates his newfound lexicon into the act. The doll isn't as sentient as the soul-inhabited original, but his robotic misunderstanding of the statement makes it all the funnier. Number 7, Chucky's First Retort, Child's Play. The first Child's Play is a straight action horror ride, and for a film about a killer doll, surprisingly effective. Mancini teamed with the director of Fright Night, another sleeper hit, to create a wholly original frightening film. Part of the scares come from the first act, where we aren't sure whether or not the kills are in young Andy Barkley's mind, or if the doll actually is alive. Finally, he makes his true face known. But even after that, there are moments of levity, such as when Chucky is insulted in an elevator. He doesn't take kindly to being called ugly, and so began a franchise about a wisecracking piece of plastic.
Ugly doll.
You.
Number 6, Glenn or Glenda, Seed of Chucky.
Chucky, she just had an accident.
You mean he had an accident?
Learning the sex of your child is an exciting moment, so much so that we have gender reveal parties just to celebrate. For 2 dolls, however, it's, well, complicated.
See? What did I tell you? A beautiful little girl.
After discovering that they have a child, Chucky and his bride Tiffany begin to dispute the doll's sex, attempting to answer the very question we've all had since Barbie met Ken.
He just hasn't had his growth spurt yet.
Insisting that his son is just a late bloomer, Chucky names the child Glenn, while Tiffany has other ideas. A reference to Ed Wood's low-budget cult classic about cross-dressing, Glenn or Glenda.
And it's high time that you had a real name. Let's see. I think I'm gonna call you Glenn.
Number 5, Scared to Death, Child's Play 3. The best movie serial murderers take pride in their work. They get creative. A simple slice of a knife or the shot of a gun isn't enough. Even Michael Myers, the original slasher, couldn't live without getting creative with a perfectly fine shotgun. So, imagine how robbed you would feel if your next victim just up and dropped dead on you. That's exactly what happened to Chucky when Colonel Cochran got his first glimpse at the terminating toy and suffered a heart attack. Chucky is far from pleased.
Aw, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
Number 4, Pinhead, Bride of Chucky. Bride was the first entry in the franchise to go meta, and we're talking full-on meta.
For God's sake, Chucky, drag yourself into the 90s. Stabbings went out with Bundy and Dahmer. You look like Martha Stewart with that thing.
Like self-references, camera asides, and of course, references to his rival killer icons.
Why does that look so familiar?
See? Now that's the work of a true homicidal genius.
This kill is an especially nice touch, as actor Brad Dourif ad-libbed the line, showing just how comfortable he was in the role after a full decade of voicing Chucky.
What do we do with him?
I don't know. What would Martha Stewart do?
Pinhead may not be the best slasher given his direct-to-video status these days, but it is a nice shout-out from one horror master to another. Number 3, Violins Are Bad, Seed of Chucky.
Why do you kill people?
Excuse me?
How does one teach a child to navigate the complicated, corrupt, and often sad times we live in? Even dolls have to face that question. Take, for example, when Glenn wonders why his parents are brutal killers.
Well, it's a hobby, really. It helps us relax.
Chucky and Tiffany scramble for an explanation, but Glenn isn't satisfied. Isn't violence bad? Well, Chucky can explain that one too.
Not violence. Violins. Violins are bad. That screechy music's gonna ruin the goddamn country.
It's equal parts funny and, let's face it, kind of adorable watching the brutal killer toy trying to raise a son. Violence? Hey, that is why we bought the ticket, Chuck.
We have a problem with killing.
I don't have a problem with killing. I like a little killing now and then. What's wrong with that?
Number 2, Domestic Disputes, Bride of Chucky.
Thanks, honey bun. I hope you left room for dessert.
You know it, Pookie.
A major part of what makes Bride of Chucky so much fun is how seriously the marital vows of Chucky and Tiffany are taken.
You know, if I had known that marriage was such a great gig, I would never have waited this long to tie a knot.
Yes, it's patently absurd that two living dolls imbued with souls meet, marry, and have relations, but creator Mancini must have had a blast writing scenes that give us an inside peek into their domestic bliss, which, like any marriage, is often less than blissful. Take this moment, where Chucky and Tiff argue over who does the dishes.
You were nice enough to cook for him. The least he could do is wash the dish.
Like any good joke, the whole scenario was played straight, with great voice acting from Dourif and Jennifer Tilly.
Here I am slaving away over a hot stove, making cookies, making Swedish meatballs, and for what? For a man who doesn't appreciate me.
Sure, Chucky is a murderous little doll and he is great at it, but my favorite part about him is his sense of humor, and that is why I cannot wait to laugh at what we put at number 1, but I will have to wait until after these honorable mentions to do so.
Let me explain something to you. I am a vintage, mass-marketed children's toy from the 80s, standing right in front of you, holding a very sharp scalpel.
You goddamn women drivers!
Eat dirt, Tommy.
I wouldn't marry you if you had the body of G.I. Joe.
Hey, Raggedy Ann, you looked in the mirror lately? Now's not the time to get picky.
Not quite at the end yet. Almost there though. Just be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos. Alright, back to business. Number 1, Oops, I Did It Again, Seed of Chucky. Okay, admittedly, this is a pretty dated joke. Heck, it was practically dated when it first ran.
Maybe we should slow down?
No, you're doing great!
Today, we are sure Britney would have been replaced by a Kardashian, but at the time, the Princess of Pop was the more popular target of ridicule. As Chucky drives through Hollywood, he's overtaken by the pop icon, only to run her off the road and throw in a line just to be sure we get it.
Oops, I did it again.
It's forced, it's overwritten, but it's intentionally stupid. And that is all part of the fun of a franchise led by a doll with a knife. So we said that if the moment from number 1 were recreated today, it would be a Kardashian instead of Britney Spears. But what do you guys think? Who would Chucky be most likely to run off the road if it were made today? Let us know in the comments what your favorite funny Chucky moment is. Be sure to like and subscribe and watch this other video. Otherwise, Chucky might want to play with you.